Yeah.
Everybody ready? Maura, I want to write about the suites coming up here. How have you seen Paula and Ida both adapt and grow, and I think Ida especially has really flourished as a freshman for you?
Yeah, both of them. You know, Paula came in off a really serious injury from last year's Worlds and didn't get to skate much over the summer. So to see where she went from September to now, it's huge. And she still has so much more to go. And she knows that and she wants that, and that's great. She's been huge for us, you know, solidified our top 6D pairing. She's playing the offside. She's been doing that all year, which if you play defense, you know that's not that easy to do. I think she's super smart with the injury, just, you know, trying to adapt like we have had so many players over the years. You have to adapt to the new hockey player that you are, and that takes some time. But I think her smarts have really helped her close that gap. And, you know, that hockey IQ, just how to make plays, really good defensively. And she's jumping into the offense a little bit more. Saw some of that last weekend, which was great. Ida, on the other hand, was like a typical freshman, takes a little while to get used to everything, also being from Europe and dealing with, you know, the differences and educational systems and language and everything. But it was probably somewhere in November that things kind of clicked for Ida, and I think she took off from there. Obviously, was it Wisconsin? She had a whole bunch of assists, and the weekend before, just a big part of our success against Colgate as well. And I feel like she hasn't looked back. You know, she was able to play on the senior national team over December, so that, you know, helps keep her in shape and ready to go, a little more game ready maybe than some others because of that. So they've been big parts of our success this year.
How valuable is it, Ida, freshman coming from Europe, young? How valuable is it for her to have like a mentor like Paul when she's coming over here and starting her college career?
Yeah, they actually live together because, you know, some of the Swedes end up living on their own prior to coming here. She was well set up to live in Bluestone, so she lives with Paula, and I think that's been really nice for them. Certainly right away when you're figuring out how to deal with just different things in the college system, and Paula, even being new here, just had a little more wherewithal there. So I think that was helpful, and just being so far from home and, you know, getting to speak Swedish, and they have mutual friends, and, you know, they just get it with each other. So I think that's been really helpful.
I'm trying to remember the timeline. Ida was committed before Paula transferred, right?
Yeah, Ida was committed, I think, last January.
Okay.
And Paula was May, June.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Ida, what have you seen now that you've gotten her here on campus? What have you seen as her strengths as a defenseman?
Well, I think I was talking about her stick way back when we started. Just so hard to get around her, hard to get out of the corners with her. She's got a great frame, long stick, but I think she's emerged as an offensive defenseman too. Super quick release, can snap that thing, and you know, it really zips off her stick. I think she has good vision, and she wants to be a part of it. You know, so I think she's become more of a dynamic offensive defenseman as well as a good shutdown D.
Have you seen Paula adapt from going from Long Island up to a jump to the WCJ? We had Liv Wallin on the podcast. She had mentioned playing at Penn State.
Yeah.
And Zach, she had even mentioned, like, if she had come in here as a freshman, she doesn't think she'd be ready to. She probably wouldn't have cracked the lineup. She'd be watching games for you. So it was a big jump coming from there. But I guess for Paula from Long Island, and maybe her national team experience, her experience in Sweden maybe helped.
It helps, and she's older too. But I think if you asked her about the jump, she would say it was significant. Just the difference in the pace, the people we play against, the way we practice every day, the way we work out, the way we break down video. You know, it's you know, we go at a high clip here. So I think they love that, though. You know, like, I didn't listen to the podcast yet, sorry, but they seem to really be excited about it. I've listened to so many. I haven't gotten to that one. But they're excited about it, and they like being pushed, and they like being treated like professionals is how they usually talk about it. So it's a good thing. It just takes some time.
Bemidji again,
Yeah, we got to get going. Didn't start the semester the way we wanted to, so this is our opportunity. And, we need to clean up some of the details of the game. I think, we played some really good hockey last weekend, and then when it came down to crunch time, we didn't execute when we needed to. So making sure we understand all of those situations, we get our brains into those, tight moments, the focus, the intensity, the pressure, all of those things. So we've been trying to ramp that up this week and expect it to be a competitive series where, it's really important for us to take 6 points.
No surprises for you last week? It was about what you expected? Or were you better than you thought?
From Quinnipiac? They're very structured always, and they play well at home. That's an edge, when you talk about our record against ECAC teams and things like that. You got to pay attention to where we're at. Are we there? Are we here? Are we at a neutral site? They play well at home. So I feel like they played their best and we didn't play our best.
Those results eliminate whatever concern there might have been about this series being sandwiched in the national opponent in Quinnipiac. You have Ohio State, Wisconsin coming up. Does that have the team's attention now going into this series and realizing its importance?
Yeah, probably. I hadn't thought about it like that, but for sure.
What has been the key to the penalty kill over the last 8 weeks?
I know.
It's like 9, 10 games since the last time we allowed a power play goal.
Yeah, I always start with the goaltending on the kill. They're usually your best penalty killers, but have to give the nod to our defensemen as well, who have blocked a ton of shots on the kill. And then you work your way up to our forwards, who have really settled into our style, knowing when to push, knowing where their stick should be, and just having, I think, confidence from being good at it allows you to break up plays maybe that you're not in perfect position for, but that's what confidence and experience can do for you. It just, you read things quicker, you read things better, you know pretty much what power plays are going to do. But I think it takes a really good goaltender to help, because teams are still getting their shots off. But we're eliminating a lot of grade A's with our D blocking, and then the structure and understanding from our forwards.
Has Emma taken that over on the coaching staff?
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
that something she had with Nikki? Or is that new to her?
Great question. I can't remember.
Okay. So she's been the point person?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk about the Sophie squad game. What's it been like for you to watch it from day one to grow now to this annual tradition?
Yeah, it's really important to our program that regardless of Gabby graduating, that's going to be something that we celebrate every year and recognize, and talking about mental health awareness and how to manage that in our program starts on day one. Basically, when we're introducing staff to the locker room, we're talking about resources, and those are ongoing conversations with players throughout the year. So to be able to celebrate and recognize Sophie's squad this weekend, it's really important to us, and I think it sort of publicizes the work that we're doing internally as a program. So really excited about it, happy to be doing it, and hope to be seeing some of the Hughes family members. I'm not sure if they're coming, but hope so. They are.
Terry's on my line,
Sure.
Yeah. Dad's being
Laura, will you just talk about the immediate impact that Sophie Squad has had on your team over the course of the past couple years?
Yeah, I think, watching Gabby go through the tragedy where Sophie's squad came from, that's what we have to remember, that a young woman took her life. That's where this whole thing stemmed from. And Gabby and her family were really close with Sophie. So watching her deal with that tragedy and then having something so powerful blossom from that was incredible. But we saw the dark side of it too. And I think our team came together for Gabby and helped her through that. And then to see her just invest so much of herself into this organization and see how it's grown, and I mean, how many events they've done since our Sophie Squad game last year, it's just amazing. And while Gabby's out in Ottawa, obviously things are still going, and that I think is really powerful and important, and I think everybody in Minnesota knows what Sophie's squad is and wants to be a part of it.
Is it something you even talk about in the recruiting process, knowing that there's such a big foundation when it comes to mental health here?
Yes, we do, especially being able to say, you know, we had the Hockey Humanitarian Award winner, here's what the award is about, here's why we want it, here are the resources and things that we do here that we think we do differently than at other places. And number one, it's having conversations, open conversations with people. So it's not a stigma, and it's not anything that anyone should be afraid to talk about because it's a part of life. We talk about their physical health all the time. I don't know why we're afraid to check in on the mental health piece. So, yeah.
On the ice, what have you liked so far about that 1-2 punch?
Oh, geez. I mean, they set us up every game. I feel like we're in it. And they give us a chance to win. And they're really young, so the future's bright. You know, mistakes that they make now, they won't be making soon. And again, I just think there's so much confidence, like we talk about the penalty kill, confidence from our players, our staff, in what we have in the net. And we know we can win any game. And that's really, really important to have that understanding and that belief.
You talk about the necessity of being able to have the mental right when it comes to crunch time and locking in. What kind of stands out to you in that aspect, being able to close everything out and just locking in?
Clara Van Wieren, I think, is a good example of that. Just when it's go time, and she can also have a lot of fun when it's time to have fun and knows the balance. But if you watch one of our practices, she would stand out to you right away, along with other people. But I think her intensity, her focus, she's got a switch that goes on, and you know, it just makes her one of the best players in the country, in my opinion.
Second time you've seen Bemidji this season, played them earlier in October. How has your team kind of changed since that early matchup in the year?
Yeah, that feels like a long time ago. I think we learned a lot about ourselves, though, that weekend. And so knowing that, you know, you're never down and out. The game's not over until they tell you it is. And that ability to come back is really important, knowing that you can do that. I think we've grown in every way possible. Lines have changed, D pairs have changed, power plays have changed. You know, the things we're able to do offensively, you know, areas that we're keying in on after being together for this many months. Just every facet of the game, and probably for them too, right? Everybody's getting better every single day. That's the goal of any program. So we have to expect that out of them. They're going to be a different team, and we're a different team.
You also, your team can be very consistent, but their team seems to always play their best against you.
Yeah.
Why is that?
That's a great question. You should ask Emma or Reese, because they would know. But I do think the last series certainly was personal because of Reese, and it was really early in the season. So we have to expect that those emotions will still be high. I don't know if it's as passionate here at Amsoil versus there, and here in January. A lot of time has passed, but I'm going to expect it from them. And, yeah, expect their best, because that's been the history for sure.
I fell down a rabbit hole this morning. So you're the coach. You drop all the systems. For you, what makes a good zone entry?
Oh, man. Speed. Speed and numbers. Zone entry is such a fun part of the game, but it can be incredibly frustrating too. The game has changed so much even in the last 5 years. Like, a lot of outside drives would happen, but now the D are so aggressive. So a D steps up there and makes that a one-on-one. And if you don't have good support from your next player in, that play dies. Your whole 3-on-2 stops. So when we can attack down the middle of the ice, makes it a lot harder for defenders to do that. You can't really step up in the middle of the ice. If you do, boom, you've got an option over here. Boom, you got an option over here. So really, like, attacking with speed, attacking with numbers, trying to stay off the walls.
We expect a lot of young girls in the building this weekend with the Icebreaker tournament. How much fun is that? We've seen the celebration of the BWHL over the last week, but this weekend, is that one of the most fun weekends you have as a coach to look around and see all the young
Absolutely. And we circle it on our schedule to make sure that the league keeps us at home. With so much girls hockey in Duluth during that weekend, we need to be here too so they can see where they can go and eventually play college hockey one day for some of them. So it's incredibly important to us. Our players love it. A lot of them will go to the tournament on Sunday and hand out the awards at the end. So it's a mutual relationship with the tournament and UMD and our players. So it's really important to us. Thanks, guys. Yes.
Paula, we've had you up here before. We talked to you kind of before that. I think it was it before Long Island? Yeah. We talked. Yeah. Take us through what it's been like for you now, the first half or so of the season. How you've seen yourself develop and grow here during your time at UMD.
I think it's been a really fun fall. I came in with an ankle injury, and it was a tough start. And I think I've come to a point where I'm finally being able to play at a level that I recognized as before I got hurt. But I'm really excited, and now is the most fun part of the season going into spring.
What's that challenge like? You're not only adapting to a team, a new league, but also kind of adapting into maybe a newer or different hockey player coming off of a serious injury like that.
Yeah, I think it's been a lot of ups and downs and challenges I've never faced before. This is a big injury, my first big injury, and I think that I've learned a lot about myself and how to get through mental challenges, not just physical. And it's been a struggle, but for sure I've learned a lot about myself throughout the way.
What stood out to you about the WCHA playing those
It's tough.
Ohio States,
Yeah. It's tough, but that's a big part of why I wanted to come here, and I've heard so much about the program, and it's, like I said, something that made me want to come here. And you get pushed every day, and every game is you have to bring your best game, which is the fun part.
Ida, for you, what's it been like these first 5-6 months here with the Bulldogs?
I would say it's been very developing for me personally, and just getting into routines here. And as Paula said, it's a tough league, and you gotta show up every day and really make it count.
What's it meant for two of you, both from Sweden, having each other as teammates, and maybe especially for you, Ida, being a college freshman? What's it been like having someone that's somewhat been through this before, like Paul?
It's been great. It's been super helpful for sure. And yeah, Paula with her routine, not only hockey-wise, but also just regarding school. It's been super helpful.
Paul, we've heard I've come up here and mentioned one of the challenges she said is she's the only one that speaks French around here. She knows a little bit, but it's two of you, does it help having that other person, that, you know, similar culture, background, language, and stuff like that for both of you?
Oh, for sure. I feel like it helps with, like, once you get homesick a little bit too. Like, you have a part of your culture here, and it just makes you feel more at home, I think.
Ida, for you, how much has it helped having another Swede on the team as freshman?
Yeah, it's been huge. Yeah, also with the homesickness, or like, yeah, I feel like Paula knows her way around English, so if I stutter sometimes, she's there to help me.
Is there a phrase that Coach like threw out once that you got this, like, what is she talking about? For either of you or anything like that? Or?
I don't know. I feel like there was a lot of phrases in the beginning for me that was just like, oh, I've not heard this before, but you grew into it. You grew,
right, yeah. Ida, where do you think you've grown the most as a freshman since coming here to college?
I would say the pace of the game, hockey-wise. It's just so fast, and yeah, you got to make fast decisions out there.
Did you see any of that benefit you when you were with the national team there?
Yeah.
December? Did you see benefits going back there?
I would say, yeah, and that was also an Olympic-sized rink, so you had some more time and space with the puck, which was, yeah, beneficial.
You're living together, right?
Yeah.
Other than speaking Swedish when you're at home together, are there anything, do you cook things or do anything else that reminds you of home?
Yeah, I would say so a little bit. I feel like we have a little bit other, like, food routines, maybe. We always, like, eat before we go to bed, that our roommates don't. So that's just one thing.
Do you cook many Swedish dishes?
Not that
Not
many
really,
yet.
no.
We made some tacos, just not really Swedish. No meatballs yet, but we said we are going to do meatballs.
Yeah.
Can you explain the eating before going to bed? My doctor yells at me for eating before going to bed.
We just, like, it's not like right before you go to bed, but it's like we always have a meal after dinner, like a small snack, and it's just like, I think it's normal as Swedes.
Yeah, say we eat more.
Let's talk about Bemidji coming up here. What did you guys learn from that first series, and how do you hope to, come away with another sweep here this weekend?
I think that we've learned that every game matters, and you can't view opponents differently in the sense where you can, like, sit back and relax, and, like, we have to go in with 100%, and like I said, every game matters, and we need to bring our best game this weekend.
Good job.
Thanks. Thank you.